that's getting you closer to God. You know, and we pray that through all those things, see, even in the Bible study, we believe your soul can begin to taste and begin, the thirst of your soul can begin to get satisfied with the living God's presence, with Him Himself coming in. So He says, you are my God. See, God is God, but is He your God?
My God.
See, but David said, oh God. See, he recognized God. He said, thou art my God. See, many people have different gods before them. But is God the one who you worship? Is God the one who you bow your knee to? Is God the one that everything stops in life to reckon with Him? Everything, is God the one that everything revolves around? Or does everything in your life revolve around something else or someone else? What does your life revolve around? Most of all.
Yes.
That's why it says, early will I seek thee. Now, as we said on Sunday, yeah, this word means early in the morning, but it also means seek diligently.
Amen.
To search for.
Amen.
So, some people's schedules, may not be so great where they can get up early in the morning in the natural time. But that doesn't mean that you cannot seek Him early.
Amen.
See, even if you don't seek Him early in the morning for whatever reason, this scripture still applies to you. This revelation applies to you. But what it's saying is that early will I seek you. Early will I search for you. It even means with painstaking. It means with earnestness. So you treat God with the most earnestness before anything else. He's the one that you're going to make sure that you are connecting with more than anything else and more than anyone else in your day. See, early. Now, and like I say, now, even if you can't get up that early, it still doesn't mean that this cannot apply to you. Some people might work overnight so they don't get off till the morning, and they're ready to fall asleep dead by the time they get off. But it doesn't mean that they cannot seek God early. Now, I would admonish you, though, if you're alive and, if you're able to sleep tonight, it would mean something to God. If you plan your day and your night and your morning to meet Him early, too, that would be very meaningful to Him. You know how much that would tell God? Like, wow, you went to bed early so you could wake up an hour early or an hour and a half early or 2 hours early to be with me. I'm telling you, you're going to make God's day. You will make His day for sure. If you did that for Him and He knows you're not used to doing that, see, I want to encourage you to do that, because early will I seek Him. Now, like I said, some people might have a good reason why they can't meet Him early. But maybe you don't have no good reason. Maybe you, the first thing on your mind in the morning is breakfast. Or the news shows. I like to watch the morning news, But I got Xfinity where I could record my favorite morning news show, and after I'm done with the Lord, then I can turn that one on. Because it's already recorded, But even me, like, I had got in the habit where I would get up early, but not as early as I was getting up. And then, because the news was so interesting around a certain period, I was cutting my time with the Lord short so I could turn on the news and thinking, I'm going to catch the Lord later, But then one thing will lead to another, and everyone knows how that can end up. You know, and sometimes it worked and sometimes it didn't. You know? So if you can tell God, and if you can set things up with God where you set that alarm clock early for God, you know, we make sure we get up for many things. But if we can get up early will I seek thee. See, and when you make some steps to meet with God, you're in for some amazing times with God himself.
Yes, Lord. Yes.
You're getting up, you're waking up early to seek God. This is greater than setting your alarm clock to wake up and to go run down Lakeshore Drive and get your exercise in. This is a greater reason to set your clock early for whatever other reason some of them might want to wake up early. But early has an indication that it's the most important thing. You're going to make sure you get in, you know, with God most of all. Now, some people might have a good thing going where they meet God at a different time. That's fine with God too. As long as it's showing God that he's number one in your life.
Amen.
And he knows, you know, there's nothing we can do or say to try to make God think he's number one in our life when he's not. You can't trick him, you know, and like put him second or third place, and still when you meet him, you know, you just saying, "Oh God, you're number one." God knows if he's really number one. You can't tell God, you're number one,
Amen.
and then God gets tricked into thinking he's one when he's really not. So either way, it's going to take that diligent heart for God to recognize that you are seeking him early and he is number one. See, because David was saying, my soul thirsted. My soul thirsted. You know, sometimes we can have a desire in our soul for many things. Remember Jesus said, don't be like the Gentiles who go about seeking, you know, for things to what they will wear, what they will eat, and things like that. He said, all these things do the Gentiles of the world seek after. He said, but seek ye first kingdom of God.
Yes.
The reign of God. See, that word kingdom means the reign or the realm of God. And his righteousness. And then all these things will be added to you.
Yes. Okay.
He'll add anything you really need or desire. You put him first. He'll go back and recount a desire you had years ago that maybe you even forgot about, and he'll surprise you with it.
Yes, he will. Yes, he will. Yes.
You put him first, and you'll forget about the things you were desiring, and then he'll come around and bring it your way, and he'll be like, "Thank you, God." But then at that point, God will already have your heart. You'll already be so attached to God that that's not going to take the place of God. So my soul, he's saying, it thirsts. See, when you're thirsty, when you're really thirsty, like that deer, you're so happy to get that water. I like to drink a lot of water. And, you know, it's great when you're really thirsty, get a nice cold glass of water, just drink that down, and you get some satisfaction in your physical body. See, but is your soul thirsting for God, or is it filled with other replacements that just won't satisfy? See, Jesus said that you can drink from this water in the well, but you'll thirst again. But if you drink from the water that I gave you, you will never thirst again. See, he will satisfy that soul. My soul thirsted for thee, for thee. You're thirsting for him, for irreplaceable. You're not just searching for how to live a good Christian life, which we all should live a good Christian life. We're not just searching for how much biblical knowledge we can attain.
Amen. Amen.
Or how we can speak words of faith, and see mountains move, and that's all good too. But we're searching for Him Himself. We want to meet with Him. We want Him to touch our souls, to fill that void in our souls, to fill that longing. He says, my soul thirsteth for Thee. My flesh longeth for Thee. It longeth. That word longeth means to pine after. In a thirsty land where no water is. See, there's many things out here that are trying to come your way. Usually, because of greed, people are projecting many things to try to satisfy man. And usually, the lust of people's flesh override the longing in their soul. And people try to satisfy the lust of their flesh, and their soul is still empty. But if you can let God satisfy your soul, the lust of the flesh will vanish. See, because if you walk in the Spirit, you won't even fulfill the lust of the flesh. So you got to know the difference between just something that's a lust, that your flesh is wanting, your flesh is lusting, the lust of the eyes. You see something nice. Ooh, I want that. That gets your flesh going. The lust of the flesh. The pride of life. Things that our flesh wants, that's what people are running after. That's all that is in the world, John said. The Bible said all that stuff is in the world. But we want what our soul will be satisfied with. We want to find that which our soul will drink and say, no, none of this stuff matters. You see, and it's at that point, though, that God begins to add anything that you ever need or desire. He can just begin to add those things when your soul is fully satisfied with Him. He said, I'm longing for you to see thy power and thy glory, so as I've seen in the sanctuary. Well, I missed an important word. So as I have seen Thee in the sanctuary. See, David had an encounter with the Lord, and he was recounting that, and he said, to see thy power. This is, Lord, I want to see your power and your glory. And His glory is Himself. See, Jesus said, Father, glorify me with thine own self, with the glory which I had with Thee before the world was. And so David was saying, I'm longing to see thy power and glory so as I have seen Thee. This word seen, look at this word, particularly means to have a vision of. So he apparently is talking about a vision he had of God before. And he's seen Thee in the sanctuary. Now, remember, David couldn't build the temple for the Lord, so he must have had a vision of God in His sanctuary, is what I'm thinking. Because in heaven, God often is sitting in a huge sanctuary that He has His throne in. That's where Isaiah said, I saw the Lord high and lifted up, and His glory or His train filled the temple. See, the Lord is in His holy temple in heaven, in a sanctuary in heaven. So David must have been caught up and saw those visions of God. And he said, I want to see your power and your glory, so as I've seen Thee. See, because God is hidden from the eyes of most men. God seems so far away. People don't know what to think of God. if you get your information just from the news, you know, like I was saying, you're listening to people that have no clue about God. You know, when you do watch the news and gather stuff, you got to look at it with that perspective. Like, these are sinners. They don't know Jesus. Most of them. There's some that do now, you know. That lady from Channel 7, the black lady from ABC News, I forget her name, you know, she's a Christian. You know, there's a couple of them on the national news that do know Jesus. But for the most part, you see, a lot of people aren't even sure about God. They've been trained by the universities and professors to doubt God's existence. Their minds are blinded. So you, as just someone who may not be famous or whatever, you know, maybe hardly nobody even knows who you are, but you have an opportunity to meet with the one that everybody's going to have to give an account to. But you can have an encounter with him before that day comes. You can know him. You can connect with him. And this is what we want to know, that we know him. We're thirsting for him. See, when you seek him, you will find him. Did you have something to add, Sister Linda?
Yeah, I mean, I read the scripture.